So grade 9, whatever you study in grade 9, your first chapter is the same chapter in grade 11. If you study science, the grade 9 first chapter is same as the grade 11 first chapter. The grade 9 second chapter is same as the grade 11. Third, same as third. Fourth, same as fourth. But in 10th, you will not study anything. Do you understand now? So to understand here, understanding in 9th is very important. Okay, so your chapter in grade 9, your first physics chapter is known as, somebody calls it motion. Okay, now as of now I will use the word motion only. I'm not going beyond this, but you will, and you and me together, we will change the name of the chapter after few time. Okay, so this is your first chapter. Man lagaiye. Okay, now in physics, this part of, we study something called kinetics, and we study something called kinematics. Let's understand the difference between the two. Okay, kinetics. This first chapter is motion. It will be everything about bodies which are in motion. Slowly. Kinetics deals with the facets and parameters of motion. Means all that we will be studying in kinetics is properties of motion. What are properties of motion? Somebody is moving. For how long did he move? With what velocity did he move? Did he speed up? Did he slow down? Did it brake? Did it accelerate? All these. We don't study what is causing motion. Is that understood? That will be studied here in chapter 2, laws of motion. Laws of motion will tell you why the motion is happening. Is this getting a little bit clear? In this chapter, you will understand only facets of motion. Like if you take a cricket match, we will all be bothered about is, did the ball stop? Was the ball in air? For how much time was it in air? What was the speed of the ball? Why the ball went in air, we will not study. That we will study in chapter number 2. This much is clear? Okay. And kinetics later gets broken down into 2 parts. We call it as statics and dynamics. Statics are when body is stationary. Dynamics is when body is moving. Is this much clear? Very good. Intelligent children. Okay. Now, few more things. From now on, you have to develop a very, disciplined approach to using units. In physics, we always study a quantity. Be chill down and free up and then study. Bacha, aaram se. Why are you so afraid? Dar lag raha hai kya? Did you see those horns in my head? They have. I actually keep it in attenuated mode. They come out sometimes, but not today. Any quantity. What can this quantity be? Let's talk about a quantity called length. Okay. What is the length of this stick? What is the length of this stick? So the length of the stick we will always define in 2 ways, with 2 things. One, where we will be capturing its magnitude. Okay. Magnitude means value. Abhi some naye word hai, and you all are all listening and looking at my beautiful handsome face. It's a word hai, Siko. Magnitude. Magnitude means what is value. What was the magnitude of your birthday party? So the birthday party of big magnitude. Magnitude will quantify certain things. Let's say the length of the stick is 5 what? Eggs, meters, centimeters. So this part is known as the unit. The most crucial thing of physics. Maybe you are not understanding. One of the expedition of NASA to Mars, if you want, I can bring that portion, fix it to you, got damaged just because somebody forgot to convert imperial units to SI units. ये इतना ही important. Just like you do how to convert meters to centimeters and you goof it up, they also goofed up. And that goof up led to the entire mission, the Mars mission, that got damaged. This is because of unit. Very important. When we study unit, now let's talk about some basic things, like say, let's say we bring class of peoples. Okay, we bring engineers, we bring carpenters. Okay, engineers. As an engineer, you're too qualified. So you would be talking everything in a unit system, which is known as worldwide. Now we follow SI. It's a French word. I don't know French, so the way they spell it is System International Day Unites. So it's international system. Means globally, everyone will be following this particular unit only, right? In this unit, lengths are measured in meters or say millimeters. If you see the drawing of a flat, it will be written, or an apartment, all dimensions in mm. So as an engineer, you say, go and get 25 mm nails from the market. That's an engineered drawing. The moment you go to the shop and you say 25, तेलुगु में बोलने से बोलोगे 40 क्या 25 या नहीं तो आप बोलोगे 25 mm वाला नेल दीजिए. The shopkeeper will just make a fun of you. नहीं है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Correct बोलिए. Get me the correct number. And he will insist that you talk to your carpenter. Just understand. He will insist you talk to your carpenter. Then you will make a call to your carpenter. And then the carpenter will tell, अरे साहब ने 1 इंच का कीला दे दो. He is saying something in inch. Have you understood? Goof up कहाँ पे हो रहा है? You whole right? Okay. The drawing is of a flat, or everything is in what? Mm. If I tell you which flat you are, what is your flat number? You'll say my flat number is 3 series flat. Let's say this series flat. And somebody says, कितना बड़ा है? How big? Then you'll immediately say flat. Okay, our flat is something like 1300 SFT. Square feet. Square feet means a feet multiplied with a feet gives you a square feet. This is area. Area ऐसे ही होता है ना? Centimeter into centimeter is centimeter. But in your, tell me in grade 8, grade 7, have you ever calculated area with square feet? Never. You have only done meter square, centimeter square. Because you are being trained to follow the SI unit. और जब आप बाजार में जाओगे तो कैसा है? Feet. SFT. Now why this comes? This comes because of, again, something from history. This comes from the colonial world, the British rules. Cakes. How many pound? Have you seen? Cake हमेशा pound में बिकता है. How many pound cake? What pound cake? We don't buy 1 kg. Nowadays we are buying. The British used to follow what is known as the FPS system, and we were under British rule. Foot, pound, second. Lengths used to be in furlongs. If you go to America, nobody talks kilometers, miles, right? Then we say you should not take anything more than 100 ml liquid in a flight. America will say not more than 30 ounce. समझ रहे हो कितना? It's all mind-boggling, right? We say what is the price of petrol in our country? We'll say 107 rupees per liter. But you know, US, they will say so many per gallon. They don't talk in liters. Oh yeah, all these goof up will happen. So when we used to study engineering, at that time we had SI, we had another unit called the MKS unit, meter kilogram seconds. Then problem will be given in this, answer has to be given in. So आपका concept एकदम clear होना है. So pay utmost attention now that whenever something is written, how it should be written. Meters, okay? Just as a startup. Do I write meters like this? Do I write meters as only M? Please pay very good attention on how things are written. So we have not yet started our chapter. Do you understand the significance of units from now on? Because you will be measuring everything in meters, centimeters. Whereas whenever a carpenter or somebody comes, they will talk everything in feet. What is the plywood size? They will say 4 feet by 6 feet ka plywood hai. Nobody will talk in meters. But our drawing goes in meters. Have you understood? They don't understand meters. But you can't doubt their craftsmanship. A carpenter does not know Pythagoras theorem. But when he makes 4 pillars, they are all identical. You, after studying engineering, cannot make this. Are you getting the pleasure part of it? You cannot make it. Can you just find any anomaly in this 4? No. But that guy has pencil here only. He doesn't use mechanical pencil. He will take it and start doing it. Okay? Chale phir. So, our first job is to study about units. Okay. We will follow the SI unit From here you can start writing. We follow the SI unit system. SI stands for the International Unit System, right? And in SI, we will always go for these three measurements first. M stands for mass, L stands for length, and T stands for time. T stands for time. Are you feeling too hot? I can increase the fan, or should I open that window? Is it comfortable? It will get worse in next 1 month. That I'm saying again, it will get cooler. That's why she's enjoying Sia, air conditioned. Okay. Mass. How cool? How hot is it in Pune, Bitu? He's muted and he's talking.
It's 40 degrees, sir.
40 degree. You're in Pune, not in Thar Desert. कुछ भी बोलते रहता है. ठीक है. MLT. Children, higher classes में, when you go in 11, you will study something called dimension analysis. Don't break your head too much on that. Dimension analysis. And when you study dimension analysis, you will heard about this thing called MLT. So MLT, as a basic, we want mass, length, and time. Right? These are three quantities. And we will see in SI unit, length is measured in meters, denoted by only small m, stands for meters. Mass will be measured in kg. The K will be in smaller case. Don't write the K in uppercase. Kg. And time is measured in seconds, where we write only S, no SEC. Okay? Seconds, kg, and meters. Okay? Or meters here, then we also know a smaller brother of meters, centimeter, the smaller brother of kg, gram, and seconds. We don't go at milliseconds level at grade 9 level. Okay? This much. Shall we? Aage chale? Okay. Now we will see two new things called vectors. सुना है इनके बारे में? Versus scalars. Vectors versus scalars. Very important. Many people in job interview also foul on these. Okay. Physical quantities. Physical quantities. And I'll take those quantities which you are aware of by now. Means from grade 8. Force. Pressure. Okay. Temperature. Let's say time. Still I'll not bring weight. This much. Grade 8 level. Okay. These are a few examples of some physical quantities. Now, when I define a physical quantity, right, you will ask how much is the force, how much is the pressure, how much is the temperature. If to define a quantity, when you define a quantity, you need two parameters. One is magnitude, that is the value of the quantity, magnitude, and the next parameter is known as the direction. Now we'll get it easy now, don't worry. If these two are mandatory to describe a quantity, then that quantity is classified as a vector quantity. Force, right? Ryan hai na? Give one tight slap on his cheek. Our next question will be, with how much force? 2 Newton force. Sir, on which cheek should we give him? Left cheek. Sir, slap should come from right side or left side? Right side. Sir, positive swing or negative swing? See, if I'm asking a robot to slap him, I have to program the robot accordingly. So if I tell the robot only that give a slap of 2 Newton, robot will not work. Are you understanding now? Why direction is important out there? So we say a force is acting on me. Are kahan se? Is it from this side? Is it from this side? Is it from the top? Is it from the bottom? So a force as a quantity, I will say, is the easiest quantity to understand what is a vector quantity. We'll get to know many vectors in this chapter. Vectors are those physical quantities which need both magnitude and direction. And another thing, children, if you don't understand something, don't wait for the whole day. Stop me right then and there. You might think that sir will be angry. Sir will not be angry. Sir will be angry if you suppress now and then show this 5 class later. Sir, I actually didn't understand what is magnitude. Then I'll be angry. इसलिए कुछ नहीं छुपाना है जितना हो सके. And if I get irritated also, I'm also aging. I'm doing, you are learning it for the first time, I'm teaching every year. तो उतना सा मुझे benefit दे दो. But whoever has actually learned with me, मैं गुस्सा होने से भी my गुस्सा goes down in, चला जाता है ना? Less than 5 minutes चला जाएगा. So be absolutely मजे से. Magnitude means value. For example, when you say about a force, we say 5 Newton. Okay, 5 Newton means 5 is my magnitude. Understood? Newton is my unit. Now 5 Newton what? 5 Newton east. Although you don't write, but you should mention 5 Newton east. 5 Newton 23 degrees southeast. कहाँ से force आ रहा है? पता तो लगना चाहिए ना? Have you understood this? And quantities which need only magnitude, and you don't need any sort of direction to specify them, are called scalars. For example, time. What's the time? How much time has been since you have been in my house now? Half an hour. So your question should be half an hour north, half an hour south. Oh, absolute nonsense. Half an hour is half an hour. We don't say half an hour north or south to it. Have you understood? You don't need it. Pressure. Pressure is a vector force divided by another quantity area. In 11 you will study area is also a vector quantity, but pressure is a scalar. The pressure is 5 Newton per meter square. There is no direction. Pressure is a scalar quantity. Temperature. What's the temperature today? 36 degrees Celsius. We don't say 36 degrees Celsius east. कोई मतलब ही नहीं है उसका. Vector scalar समझ में आया? अच्छा, now question arises. Sir, why did you teach this? Because going now is like a web series. We will meet many new actors. Whenever you meet a new actor, you have to classify they belong to this family or this family. Fine. So what did we learn? From here your chapter starts. Quantities can be either vectors or they can be scalar. If the quantity can be sufficiently explained only by magnitude, then it is classified as a scalar quantity. And if the quantity needs both magnitude and direction, then the quantity is known as a vector quantity. Fine. Okay. If that is so the case, then kahani ab tak, till now, ask yourself, vectors, scalars, little bit about units. Russian, we said, do you make sense to yourself? You ask yourself, do you understand these three things? I'll wait for 1 minute. Question yourself, have I understood vector? खुद से पूछो आंख बंद करके. Are you able to explain yourself what is vector? Don't look at my face. You ask, think from yourself. Can you explain yourself what is a scalar? Can you understand the significance of units? What type of units we will follow? SI, SI, SI. System International. Tomorrow, passing out from India, you might study in a university in America also. There you cannot go and adjust again to a different unit type. So it's all SI, SI, SI. Clear? Shall we go ahead? Fine. So we are now into the first concept, which is the concept of rest versus motion. Oh, my English is so bad, you know. Rest versus motion. Motion stands for motion. Very good. Now, like a parrot, somebody will say, but we'll not go like this. We'll have a story. Hello. Nice, lovely little story. I don't have brown color with me, so I'm using gray. Okay. So I'm using gray. And learn to draw diagrams. The more diagrams, a picture speaks 1,000 words. Okay? A picture speaks 1,000 words. So, started. Okay. Right? Beti bachao, beti padhao. That is Ryan's girlfriend. Okay. We should give them a nice name. What, Senorita? We can't give a name like Bhagyalakshmi, also Indian, you know. So Senorita, this is our our girl, her name is Senorita. Senorita. Okay, this is Senorita. Right? Okay. And we also keep something called, we have a clock out here. There's a clock with us. Okay, there's a clock with us. And we start observing Senorita very carefully. We're keeping a close eye on her. Okay, we are like, close eye means, you know, whenever there's something, all these thing happens, there will be one auntie in that neighborhood who will be judgmental auntie. So we are those judgmental auntie. And judgmental auntie is keeping 3 o'clock. Why is this girl standing out here? So judgmental auntie keeps a log. Okay, it's now 3 o'clock means 1500 hours. Okay, and say the position of this girl, Senorita, is a position called PX. Senorita is where? She is at a position which is called PX. Right? Then slowly what happens, like in YouTube, 1 hour later. So 1 hour later, at 1400 hours, oh, so sorry, 16, I'm going back in here. How can this be? So at 1600 hours, our judgmental auntie again, and she finds that it's still at PX. And this way, for the next 4 hours, this girl is at PX. And even in between also she has checked something at, say, in between 15:30, she finds that she is at PX. How does she know whether her position is changing or not? Okay, let's draw her eyes. These are her eyes. How does she know whether this girl's position is changing or not? Right? थोड़ा सा भी तो move कर सकती है. So whenever we try to quantify bodies, whether the body is stationary or moving or not, she will have something which will be taken as some reference. And she is very engineering oriented lady. So she knows exactly, let's say that from this place to the position where our girl Senorita is, okay, this, she has measured somehow that this is some X meters. The position is PX and the distance from the tree is X meters. Here also it is X meters. What does she conclude? Is Senorita moving? No, she's not moving. Right? So in physics we say, now mark my words, okay? Forget the watch. Does auntie need the watch? If you don't give auntie the watch, auntie will come down every time, take a measuring tape. Oh, okay, 5 meters. Okay, 5 meters. A body is said to be at rest. A body is said to be at rest. Don't mug up definitions. They become very easy. Said to be at rest if its position does not change with respect to another fixed object taken as a reference or with respect to time. Auntie has choices. Either she can go by the clock or she can go by another fixed object taken as a reference. I have drawn a tree. It could have been a lamppost. It could have been another girl also standing out here. It could have been a shop or anything. Are you understanding? So to define the nature of a body, whether it is at rest or motion, the first thing I need is, I need a body. I need a reference. That reference can be a tree, can be a lamppost, but the word is fixed object, which I'm taking as a reference point. Because auntie is measuring from this. Or it should be to a time measurement device, which I say a clock. Now try to stitch everything together. अगर ये picture आपको याद है, you can get your definitions right. Nobody will cross question you on tense. Has been and had been doesn't make. Now see, looking at this, a body is said to be at rest if its position does not change with respect to a fixed object taken as a stationary or fixed object taken as a reference, or with respect to time. And if auntie would have found that after some time this X meter has changed to Y meter or has reduced to Z meter, that means this body is in motion. As simple as that. Have you understood? So can we now conclude a little bit on rest and motion? All of you ask yourself, a body is said to be at rest if its position does not change with respect to a fixed object taken as a reference or with respect to time. And if the position of the body is changing with respect to a fixed object or with respect to time, then the body is said to be in motion. Is it clear? Okay. Can I, if you allow me now to actually damage my drawing to make it more informative, abhi dekho to just see the maza now. Just see. If I now draw a line out here and make this as my y-axis, if I make this as my x-axis, and similarly in 3 dimension, I will have one more axis out here, which is my z-axis. Have you understood what is a z-axis? Look at any corner of this house, this corner. You have one axis on this, one this side, one on top. It's like this, x, y, and z. All three here, just see the ceiling. One on this side, one on this side, one on this side. Take out Senorita and now think that it is some mosquito in the 3D space. So the mosquito will have what? 3 coordinates, an x coordinate, a y coordinate, or a z coordinate. That's how a fighter pilot will track another fighter pilot. There is no Cartesian. So how does the fighter plane bomb another aircraft? So it will lock that aircraft on some reference plane and lock yourself. And these two planes will be actually doing the mathematical calculation. Otherwise, for a fighter pilot, how do you know in 3D space where you are? There's nothing like that, right? So if we make this into a coordinate system and we include a time, then we call this in physics as our frame. This your school may not tell you, but in 11 they will talk about it. Frame of reference. In physics, frame of reference is very important. Suppose he is out here, you can define a frame of reference for him. How to define the frame of reference? Start taking this pillar and draw 3 axes. Then his position has been marked. Just try to think, his position has been marked. And take a clock also, include the clock also. Why the clock is needed? Now you may ask why the clock is needed. Every time he moves, there will be some distance that we can record. You have learned a little bit about this chapter in school. What is speed? Distance upon time. We won't be able to tell his speed or anything unless we have the clock. The clock to chahiye hame. Anything. Suppose I have fixed all these picture frames out here. A question comes up, sir, how did you ensure that everything is in one line? I have myself done it. How do you ensure everything is one line? On day 1, I did not have so many frames. I had 1 frame. So I might have just fixed that first frame. That becomes my reference. 6 inches left of it. Second frame frozen. 6 inches left another. Third frame frozen. So you have to have a frame of reference. So what is a frame of reference? A frame of reference is a 3D coordinate system, right? Which also includes a time measuring device, which helps us to study the rest and motion of a particular object. In our syllabus, nobody will question you about this. People will ask you, define when a body is at rest. So become that CBSE bacha. My bodies are like 3 idiot. What is a machine? A machine is a system of blah, 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 blah. So start doing your rattupana. A body is said to be rest if its position does not change with respect to a fixed object taken as a reference point or with respect to time. And the body is said to be in motion if its position does not change, if its position changes with respect to a fixed object taken as reference or with respect to time. Tell me, bacha, rest and motion cleared. So, kahani ab tak will write rest versus motion. But I will say it is still not clear. समझ में आया थोड़ा सा रेस्ट एंड मोशन बेसिक सर ओके ना हाँ ये मेकिंग फेस एज इफ किडनीज हैव बीन टेकन आउट you're okay bp normal good all okay bp normal na ekdam good all of you all have settled by now Sia is enjoying breeze from the backside Goa beach ठीक है चले आगे चलो so let's now see some more interesting things okay and now say you are in Delhi right now, okay? You are in Delhi and you are in something called inside a you're in the Ghumana chahiye na, we'll take you to Delhi now, and you are in a Delhi Metro coach. Okay, you're in a Delhi Metro coach, and this one is a Metro coach, right? So obviously, you have seats like this. So someone is seated out here. Next seat. So someone is seated out here. Okay, fine. So this is your Delhi Metro. Now this, and this is, say again, my so-called lovely tree, right? And I make my lovely tree as again what I say as my reference point. Now there are many references. This is first reference. Let's call this person as person A and person B. It has started to move. Darwaze band kiye jate, and it started to move now. It started to move, okay? If I call the cart as my body and this tree as my reference, is the cart in motion? Yes, the cart is in motion because its position is changing with respect to the tree. But if you look at A and B and you now shift your frame of reference at A, okay, you make the frame of reference or the fixed reference point at A. Now you say between A and B, is B in motion with frame of reference as A? No, they're not in motion because B's position is not changing with respect to A. As children, this is where the debate starts. B's position is, whenever I ask you, is B in motion, you should first ask me, what is the frame of reference, sir? The frame of reference is the tree. Yes, B is in motion. The frame of reference is A. No. The frame of reference is the handrail which is hanging out here. No, it's not in motion. Are you getting the beauty of two objects may be in rest when you make the frame of reference to each other, but overall they might be in motion also. But if you take A and B together and you compare with the tree, are they in motion? Yes. Right? Very good. Now what happens? We make it a little bit more complicated. Okay? We make it a little bit more complicated. Where our parents have given us this man, he keeps on eating head. This is Mother Earth. This is Mother Earth, right? And this is the orbit of Mother Earth around a celestial body called the Sun. And far across I have a lovely planet, which is Uranus. And here I stay, my name is Uran. Uran. As Uran is observing, with the Sun as the frame of reference, are they all in motion? So the question arises, is anything at rest ever? Nothing is permanently at rest. You are not at rest. You, me, you all are seated at this portion. You feel you are at rest, but somebody observing you from here will say, oh, look at them here. And every time they complete one circle, they dance near that swimming pool whole night. That's what you call New Year, right? And they tell, look at those morons. Just because they completed one revolution around their around their star, the sun is a star, they dance whole night. Getting the idea? So is anything permanently at rest? Nothing is permanently at rest. A rest or emotion is a very subjective thing. So tomorrow, if anyone asks you in any question paper or any question, is this body at rest? Your first question should be, what is the reference? What is the reference? And this metro example is the best. If the reference is the tree, then both of them are in motion. If one of them is reference, none of them are in motion, right? And if you see from a third party, everything, even the tree is in motion. The best part is even the tree is in motion. Majo ayo, did you understand this? All right. That's it for this part. If you think it is strategic timeout for 1 minute, if you think there is something, hey, don't look at the clock. That's an offense. I will make it 10 minutes slower. Okay. If you think that there is anything here which has been Hebrew or Latin to you, or you have not understood, or you would like to add, physics is not about only me speaking, it's about you also understanding. Okay, a little bit of more maza. Let's understand how. Now we are again on a separate topic. You know what is physics? Physics is study of phenomenons. They can be natural, artificial, but all artificials have one day taken birth from a natural only. Let's say we are in the year 1600 something. In 1600. So in 1600, when Samrat Akbar was there in Delhi, okay, and they say Akbar had a musician whose name was Tansen. You must have heard. Tansen used to have Rag Malhar. If he sings, rains used to pour down. So every time Akbar used to be sad, Akbar used to call out for Tansen. Bulaaye Tansen ko, hame khushi hona hai. So Tansen used to sing and Akbar used to feel happy. I take this boy from 2026 and I make him time travel to 1600. And he goes there and he finds, what is this nonsense all about? Every time the king is sad, he calls for Tansen and Tansen sings a song. So he says, Jahapna, can I say something? Yes. He says, why don't you record his songs and make an MP3 out of it? So the king got so angry that they sent him to the prison. Like, what nonsense are you talking? Make an MP3. But did he speak anything nonsense? No. He just spoke something which you are not able to understand. Right? When I was in my school days like you, we have been the blessed generation, even much more blessed than you. I have seen cinema from a projector film. I have seen cinema from a VHS cassette. I have seen cinema from a VCD. I have seen cinema from a DVD. I have seen cinema from a Blu-ray. I now see cinema from the cloud. And I now see cinema completely digital. I have seen the whole thing. From cassettes to iPod to iPhone to everything. But everything took its time. In 1970, if you tell somebody that, oh, you forgot, ask your wife to give you a call. He will remind you what to be bought from the market. That's not possible. Do you get it? The first time when I traveled abroad, as the flight takes off from Hyderabad, until the time I reach at the new place, okay, you are all disconnected till you buy a calling card and then call. Today what happens? Mama, boarding pass mil gaya. Dekho, see how I am near the aircraft. See, you'll click a picture. Again, the pleasure is also gone because there's nothing called a surprise element, right? So one person has described physics very nicely. It's a study of phenomena. Slowly you discover. He says physics is something like this. I must have shared this before with you. Two chess players, they are playing chess. See, observe the beauty, okay? Two chess players who are playing chess. Obviously, they know how to play chess, right? They're playing chess. And you have been brought out here to observe this game. You don't know ABCD of chess, but you have been given the responsibility to frame a book of the rules of chess. You can't speak to them. Are you understanding? This is nature. What happens in nature is not known to you. Suppose in this chess match, they see that, you know, the bishop can move like this, or the knight always moves like this. So he starts writing, knight moves this way, bishop moves this way. Then one fine day, there is a check out here, and this fellow has done something called a castling. Oh, ye bhi hota hai. Then he writes castling. Has he now understood everything of chess? No. He understands by experience. We saw lightning. We understood what's a lightning conductor. We understood static electricity. Can there be more better electricity? Who knows? Yes. We might be doing it in the wrong way. Internet, which you see so fast. Internet, when it came in 1999, when I passed out from my engineering, the login itself used to take more than 4 or 5 minutes. You can see some videos. And you just type google.com, oh, Google was not there, yahoo.com, and you can have tea and come back. It is still not uploaded, but now it uploads. So physics is like that. A guy who does not know chess cannot speak to the chess players, but has been entrusted the job of jotting down the rules of chess. So the more you observe, the more you find. And that finding you have to, why we need mathematics? Because whatever finding you see, you have to vet it. That is this correct? Yes, this is correct. Is the expression of force correct? Yes, correct. Because based on that is how aircrafts are landing. Based on that, when you walk in the basement or you cycle in the basement of our apartment, does it never strike you that if the basement caves in? Can happen. Can happen. Can you imagine when an aircraft lands, what is the shock on those wheels when it is landing? But that mother is holding the child with complete guarantee that nothing wrong can happen. When you cross over a bridge, over a river or something with the train rattling at 120, will you even will you run on a bridge when there's water on both sides? Still then you'll get afraid. But there are no guards, the train is going. So those all findings have been vetted by mathematical models. That's why we need mathematics. Then only you will be understanding the good part of physics. Is this understood? Okay. Ek aur topic, and then we'll close. Our next topic starts something called distance. Location A. Oh, so let's get a little bit more in geography. Okay, something like this. So this is where we are. Right? You saw this as a pumpkin now. What is the map of India? Right. We are Hyderabad. Okay. And say suppose we need to go to say Delhi. We're talking about distance now. Distance. Okay. So we ask a child, how would you like to go from Hyderabad to Delhi? So there are many other ways. Somebody says, I'll first go from Hyderabad to Calcutta, then I'll go to Delhi. I'll go to Mumbai first, then I'll go to Delhi. Well, that's also possible. Sir, I'll first like to visit my grandfather in Chennai, then I'll go to Delhi. Very good. Somebody says, sir, how about a vacation in Singapore and then coming to Delhi? I said, fine, then why not a vacation somewhere down here in Dubai and then come down to Delhi? That's also possible. Somebody says, sir, I will take a trip down to the moon, spend some days out there, and from Delhi, I'll come to Hyderabad. That's also possible. Distance is the actual length of the path traversed from one point to other point. Get it better. Initial point to final point, irrespective of the direction which you took, you have free sweet will. Exactly your case. Beta, go and get this thing from Ratnadeep. That's straight. But you will first go to A Tower, meet your friend, then from there you'll go to that tower, then from there to Ratnadeep. Then your mother will say, what happened? What did it? Mama, there was a big queue in billing. Yes or no? So what is distance? Distance is the actual length of the path between. So physics gets interesting. Now the problem is that initial and final point without considering direction. All definitions you will get in that book. The definitions will be much better written in English. My English is very pathetic, you know. So you should understand what is distance. Whenever they say distance. So what is the distance from here to Ratnadeep is my question to you. What is the distance from D Tower to Ratnadeep? If you are thinking, then you are a super idiot. If you are thinking, you are a super idiot. Your answer to me should be, sir, it depends upon how you will travel. That's distance. Now, do you understand what? This is typically like three idiot. What is Farhan nitrate and what is pre-radialization? By the way, how many of you have seen Three Idiot? First of all, to understand this satire, rewind 1 minute of your life. When I asked this question, did you ever think that I'll try to learn something new? No. You just went on a race. This girl Mishka, she's actually D Tower. No, sir, you said D Tower. D Tower to Ratnadeep. Okay, it would be. She's actually thinking, idiot. Super idiot. What is the distance from D Tower to Ratnadeep? As you think. Because I don't know, sir, what is your free mind? You might like to go to In-Orbit Mall, watch a movie and then go to Ratnadeep. That's also possible. Or you might go to Pune to say a hello to Ekaksh and then go back to Ratnadeep. That's also possible. Or like an obedient child, you might straight go. Sir, you might walk straight into the swimming pool, get yourself half drowned and still you can go. So there are many ways. That's why I say distance is the actual length of the path, which is between an initial and a final point. The initial point was Tower D, the final point was Ratnadeep, right? Initial to final point, irrespective of the direction that you have taken. So if I ask him, how much distance did you travel? While he may say 5 meters, he may say 25 meters also, because he has to meet Senorita and then come back to Ratnadeep. Yes or no? Always remember, where is the elephant? The elephant is in the fridge. You remember that joke? Everyone went to the party except someone. Who? The elephant. Because he took time, because he has to say hello to the waiting girl. As a gentleman, he can't do that. Connected? So distance is the actual length of the path. And there is no direction involved. So is it a vector or a scalar? Scalar. I don't need directions to define distance. So distance is the first. Ye hai is ghar ki chachi, like they introduce. The first character that we understood in this chapter is distance. Is distance a vector or scalar? Scalar. Why is it not a vector? Sir, you only said that to specify distance, you don't need any direction. He can come back and say 5 meters. He can come back and say 25 meters. Somebody may say 1 meter, because there is no direction involved. You are free to go the way you want. So don't look at watches, then my sadistic mind starts working. So we talked about the first character of this chapter. Name is distance. It will be measured in meters, because distance is after all a length. Whatever ara tera way you go, you take the thread and you open it up, it's a length, right? So it will be measured in meters, and it will be a scalar quantity, because it does no direction involved. Okay, now we'll record and put this class. I don't want you to study anything till your next class. Just see this much of recording on a mobile also. No, not on the mobile. घर में देख लेना 5 मिनट के लिए, whatever we spoke. So when you come to the next class, rest, motion, okay? Then after rest and motion, we should also understand a little bit what is frame of reference, which is very important. Then you should know scalar versus vector, and you should know distance. Today you saw these animals in the zoo. On our next visit to the zoo, we'll take you to different cages and different caves, right? Till that time, the Rangarang Karikram ends. And wait, there are some rules.